start with Israel's airstrikes on military base in Damascus. Another preemptive strike. Israel keeps doing this preemptive strike based on intelligence that has been manipulated or exaggerated. And I don't know why this concept of preemptive strike seems to be the way they are going, because at the end of the day, these intelligence are just manipulated for Western, rhetoric. And they've started bombarding, killing the casualties already in Syria. And it's all.
Yeah, what's the name of the rebels that Syrians are fighting? Is it Druze? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on in that area, the Druze and the Syrian government?
The preemptive strike is just a fancy
majority.
word.
Druze majority region of
preemptive strike is just a fancy word for military. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was going to say preemptive strike is just a fancy word for military adventurism and illegal invasions of sovereign countries. And it's simply illegal acts, which should be sanctioned by the United Nations as legal acts of aggression. And they're completely in contravention of international law. And that is how they should be treated. This word, preemptive strike, I find it utterly disgusting and repulsive. It was a justification for 1967. It was a justification for attacking Iran, a justification for attacking Syria. You can use it to attack anybody. So China can go and attack Taiwan and say it's a preemptive strike because they're afraid Taiwan is going to do something.
The attack on Iraq was also a so-called preemptive strike.
Yes, it's utter nonsense. Any despot can use that to justify aggressive action. Anybody.
But I don't think
Putin will say that I'm going to Ukraine. What I'm doing in Ukraine is preemptive.
Yeah.
Putin strike in Ukraine is preemptive. What about that? You can't go around attacking countries that have not attacked you. I'm sorry.
Well, whoever strikes first is the preemptive. Yeah. That's funny. The irony is that whoever strikes first is actually the preemptive.
It's utterly unacceptable.
Yeah, but I don't think they said this is a preemptive. I think what they're saying is that
it's utterly unacceptable.
Yeah. I think what they're saying is that there was some fighting going on between the Druze and the security forces from Syria, and Israel said that they attacked to push back the Syrian forces who because they're supposed to be a
Druze.
Druze, yeah, it's supposed to be a ceasefire supposedly, and then the Druze are saying that that Syria broke the ceasefire first, so Israel comes in. But Israel says that the only reason they attacked Damascus and they attacked the defense site was because they're encroaching. I don't know what that means. They're getting too close to Israel.
They said that responding.
I will never believe anything.
They said they were responding to military buildups, which there is no evidence of, that threatens the Druze minority across their border. And their defense minister was interviewed. You have Gallant. He said that Israel will continue delivering painful blows unless Syrian forces withdraw from contested areas near demilitarized.
The U.S. and Israel used who's the president of Syria now?
What? I sent his name to you.
Well, anyway, this guy has linked. This guy, they used him to get rid of Assad.
Ahmed al-Shara.
He's a terrorist. He used to belong to an Al-Qaeda.
Yeah, he was a rebel leader. So
what they did was they used a rebel to weaken Syria, and now they're trying to and now they're saying, oh, he's saying that even though I used to be a terrorist, I wanted to get legitimacy. So it seems like what they're doing is they're now turning on him, because what their plan is, going to the Abraham Accord, is to continually weaken Syria until it's a total proxy. So they're going to try to get rid of him, and they're using the Druze guys to do so. This is what these guys keep on doing, like what the U.S. did in Afghanistan. They helped bin Laden to fight the Russians. Then afterwards, they had to deal with bin Laden. Then after they got rid of bin Laden, they still had problems with the Taliban. So all they're doing is that they're getting rid of one group using the Druze guys, and eventually they'll do the same thing, because what they really want to do is annex Syria so they can enclose Iran. That's all they want to do. And that's why they're also destabilizing Lebanon. But they're just using this as an excuse. And while they're bombing Syria, they're still bombing Gaza now. So it's clear that Israel is an imperial force for the U.S. to continually destabilize that area and then annex it and encircle Iran. What do you think, Kunle?
Yeah, ultimately, what's going on is that they're trying to do this. Iran has done something very clever. in all of this confusion with Israel attacking Syria and all these other countries, Iran, in respect of Afghanistan, has said, okay, since you guys attacked us, we're going to load off a load of refugees off onto Europe. And every time you do something psychotic, we're going to load a bunch of refugees onto Europe. They're going to first get thrown out of Iran. They're going to go to Afghanistan. And from Afghanistan, they're going to start entering Europe on boats and through the corridor. So the more the West inflicts violence on the Middle East, the more boat people and illegal immigrants they're going to see on their shores.
Yeah. But here's the question.
Do you think doing it?
Yeah, but do you think that the strategy will work in which they can now occupy those lands? So, for example, do you think they can occupy Lebanon and Syria? Do you think they can ever do it? I don't think so. All they're going to do is
they don't have the numbers to occupy.
Yeah, they're just creating chaos.
They don't have the numbers to occupy. All they want to do is dominate militarily and keep
can't even occupy Gaza. That's why they're killing women and children, because they can't put down Hamas. So
exactly, and you cannot. If you can't bring basic justice to a people that you occupy, no matter the amount of weapons and technology you have, you will be overhauled. That's what happened. That's why Armenians were able to take over the Romans, because they didn't have the technology, but the barbarians were constantly oppressed, and they just, as soon as they learned how to fight the Roman way, they just overthrew the Romans. It took no time. The Afghanistan they've done it with Russia. They did it to America. As soon as they got used to knowing what they knew how to do and how to fight, they threw them out. It doesn't work. You can only maintain an empire for a long time if you give basic justice to the people you are ruling.
So when they do it, you
can't do it, they will fight you. You will never have peace.
That's all it is. And at
if you oppress them for a while,
and if Iran
you'll be overcome eventually.
If Iran jumps in, we saw what happened when they jumped in against Israel. People had to live under the ground. They had to close the airports because people were running away. So Israel is just exposing itself to more danger. What do you think, Afolabi?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're just exposing themselves to more danger, and there's no how they can legitimize their way of doing things. This is pure and simply an act of war. Even if it's intended to be a small scale kind of attack, it can easily escalate. The conflict can become protracted in a matter of hours, and the targeted entity themselves will always end up retaliating. There will be solidarity from the axis of evil, the Houthis and all these people. And if Israel continues to do this, some other nations too will adopt a similar, kind of approach of let's get them first before they get us. And it doesn't make the world any safer.
Yeah, so eventually it'll be Iran, because if Lebanon becomes weaker and Syria becomes weaker, soon Iran will justifiably start doing preemptive strikes on Israel, and it will be justified.
Exactly. So they can't legitimize this.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened.
They actually bring it down their own downfall, to be honest with you. Give us that point, Kunle, and then we'll.
When Germany invaded Poland in 1939, they claimed that was a preemptive strike as well, because they claimed Poland was threatening. Every aggressive far right leadership that wants to start annexing countries claims that they're acting in self-defense, and they do the exact opposite of what they're doing, and they're basically annexing countries with aggressive expansionism and doing exactly what they claim the bad guys are doing. They are the bad guys, but then they are even worse because they tell a lie about who they are. That is basically what's going on with this preemptive strike word. Preemptive strike is simply military.
You also have to remember that every time they drop these bombs, somebody gets paid. So they're doing this also for billing for the corporate. That's the real reason, because they know they can't win, but they're just trying to make some money. That's all. What do you think, Afolabi?
Yeah, it's a business. No matter how you look at it, it's a business, and some people are profiting off this kind of strategy. And no matter
we're even profiting, we can talk about it now.
It creates an environment of distrust and insecurity among their neighbors. And if this continues, it will end up bouncing back at Israel, no matter how they look at it. And I think the legacy of Netanyahu is at risk here. Whatever he says, this is all about him. He only thinks in one direction. He doesn't have a nuanced view on all these things. Preemptive strike, hit them, kill them, destroy them, take their, occupation, take their land and stuff. So it's all about his legacy, and I think this will come out ugly. I don't see this coming out in any way good. It will come out ugly.
So what are your last thoughts, Khalid, and then take us out? Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, I'm thoroughly sick to the teeth with Israel's aggression, military expansionism, genocide, abuses of international law, using America as a weapon to commit other acts of illegality, acting like what we thought Russia and Germany and the bad guys were like, and now the good guys are actually the bad guys, and we're living in George Orwell's Animal Farm, 1984, the year 2025. It's a contradiction of the world we live in now. And that's where we are. I don't know what we're going to do about it, but I do believe that the people will change.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. So on? Yeah, take us out because we have to go.
So it's from myself, Afolabi, and Mustafa. Yeah, so from myself, Mustafa, and Afolabi, we wish you a good day, farewell, adieu to the next time, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Okay, thanks. See you guys on Friday.
All right.
Good one.
Yeah.